बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। जनाब इब्राहिम खलील बुखारी साहब, coordinator of this commission for the state of Kerala, Mr. P. Hamza, other dignitaries on and off the dais, friends. I am really overwhelmed by the warm welcome which you have extended to me. This center, which is in my opinion is a center of excellence in the field of education, has done human service to the Muslim community. I am really proud of Janab Ibrahim Khalil Bukhari Sahab and the other members of his team, because they have transformed the student community in a knowledge society. You are entitled to retain your place of glory and pride in the field of education. I'm also thankful to Mr. Sayyid Bukhari Sahab for providing me an opportunity to apprise you about the scope and object of our act. You know, the main beneficiaries of our commission are members of the Christian community. And nearly 95% of the cases emanating from this state are from the Christian community. Because that community is a very vibrant community. We the Muslims, we don't know what are our constitutional rights and how we can exercise them. We are just sleeping over our rights. Article 30 of the Constitution confers a fundamental rights on the minorities to establish and administer educational institution of their choice. This is a promise of reality, not a teasing illusion. And the Supreme Court has interpreted in TMFI Foundation versus State of Karnataka that the right to administration consists of the following rights. You can constitute your managing committee or governing body without any interference from the state. You can raise a reasonable fee structure for your educational institution. You can admit 10% students of your own community. But if your institution is receiving any financial aid from the state, Then sub-article 2 of Article 29 obligates you to admit a reasonable percentage of non-minority students also. Let me tell you that mere receipt of financial aid from the state does not destroy your constitutional right. Then you can select and appoint teaching and non-teaching staff of your institution, subject to in accordance with the conditions of eligibility prescribed therefore by the state government or the statutory authorities. Now this right is being frowned upon by the state and its instrumentalities, because that gives you an autonomy to select and appoint teaching staff of your institution. The fourth right you get is that the state cannot have a seat sharing with you. Your institution is also exempted from the policy of reservation in admission, from the policy of employment in reservation in employment also. Then the last freedom which you enjoy is that you can take disciplinary action against your erring members of the staff. So these are the basic freedom which you enjoy as a minority education institution, provided you have obtained a minority status certificate therefore, either from the state government or from this commission. But for obtaining a minority status certificate, you have to approach the state government first, make application, wait for 3 or 4 months. Certainly they are not going to oblige you. Then you can approach the commission. And there your petition is being registered as a plaint. We issue notice to the competent authorities of the state government, directing them to apprise the commission about the status of your application. Generally, no response is being received from the state government. Then the commission, on satisfaction of the documentary evidence which you produce before the commission, grants you minority status certificate. Now here is a general perception among the Muslims that if a Muslim has instituted an educational institution, that automatically it will be treated as a minority institution, entitled to claim the constitutional protection of Article 30. That is a misconception. Unless you are armed with a minority status certificate, you are not entitled to claim the constitutional protection of Article 30. Now this commission has been invested with the power to decide and determine the status of a minority institution. Up to 30th April, we have received more than 10,000 cases, and more than 9,000 cases have been disposed of, leaving a pendency of hardly 1,000 or 1,100 cases. We don't charge any court fee thereon. No counsel is required to argue out your case. Your presence is also not required. You can send the application by post. But we will summon you for production of original documents. Now you must have read in the newspapers that this commission has granted minority status certificate to the Jamia Millia Islamia University. The university was established in 1920 And there was a spate of hesitation for conference of this valuable right. It took more than 60 years for the university to get a minority status certificate from any statutory authority. And I'm proud to say that our commission has granted the minority status certificate. And this clearly shows how proactive is this commission. So kindly take advantage of this commission which has been established to safeguard your educational rights enshrined in Article 30 of the Constitution. Then one more beneficial provision which has been engrafted in our Act is that if you are required to establish any professional college for which NOC of the state government is a condition precedent, then you can make an application before the competent authority for grant of NOC. On the request of the Commission, every state government has nominated an authority for issuing this certificate of essentiality or NOC. If no order is passed within 90 days from the date of presentation of this application, then subsection 3 of section 10 commands that it will be deemed that the NOC has been granted by the competent authority and you can proceed to establish your institution. And if your application has been rejected by the state government, then certainly you can prefer an appeal before this commission within 30 days from the date of the rejection order. Now here I may tell you that if your educational institution is affiliated to CBSE or ICSE, then you are not required to approach the state government for grant of minority status certificate, because in such a situation, the state government doesn't have power to grant you a minority status certificate, and you can directly approach the commission for that relief. Then a very valuable legal right has been conferred on you by our Act, and that right is to seek affiliation of your college from the university of your choice, provided the university is an affiliating university. And section 10A provides that if your application for affiliation has been rejected by the university, then you can approach the commission, and the section declares that the order of the commission thereon shall be final. So these are the salient features of our Act. I request you to kindly generate awareness for exercise of this valuable right. You know, today education has no borders. Globalization has created new opportunities for achieving excellence in the field of education. I may tell you that our salvation lies in acquiring a strong knowledge economies powered by information and technology, innovation and education. Thank you for your time and patience.